Yeah, and they were so cool to see. They were so cool, and lots of them were really cool. But I remember there's this one that popped up, and it's like a larger house, like probably a slightly larger than yours, like decent sized home, beautiful home. And you go through the photos, and it's just like, well, this is a very normal house. Like, I don't understand why this is on Zillow. Like, it's very normal. You go through the whole house, and then you get to the master bedroom. It's like a sex dungeon. Like, the corner, like the whole back walls are all painted black. The bed is like on like a platform with like a mirror above it.
Oh and my God.
Welcome to the Happy Soul Podcast. My name is Melissa, and this is Sammi. We are diving deep into conversations that connect and inspire. Stories of resilience, triumph, and transformation. Stories that take us to the heart of human connection. Please note that opinions of our guests do not necessarily reflect those of this podcast. Please listen with your kindness and an open mind. Each story shared is authentic and vulnerable. Let's embrace our differences with empathy, knowing every voice enriches us. Together, let's cultivate a community of respect and curiosity. Thank you for listening. Now sit back, relax, and prepare to be inspired. Okay, welcome back to the Happy Soul Podcast, everyone. Today it is Sammi and I, and we are bantering, and Sammi has stuff to talk about, and I have no idea what she's about to say, so we're just gonna roll right into it. We've had a break over summer. We've just been kind of hanging out with our families, and now we're back at it. So Sammi, I've missed you. I was saying to you earlier today, I feel like we talk all the time, but I still am like, I've been missing you this month. I'm glad we're doing this today. What you got for me?
It feels like I just realized I put my hand up, my wedding ring's not on. I'm still married. I just took it off to do dishes, and it's not on right now. And now my finger feels naked. I just was like, why does my finger feel funny? Oh, my ring's not on. Why is my ring off? Oh, I did dishes. Anyways, all I was thinking about is I feel like I've had this thought in my brain rambling around for a little while, and it's like it goes across a whole bunch of topics. But I was like, it's been like, do I make this a post? Do I make this a story? What do I do with this thought, this conversation I want to have with all these people?
Okay.
But I couldn't figure it out. And then I've like kind of had it little bits with people over in the last couple weeks. And then I'm like, we should just talk about this as a podcast episode. And so basically what that long random ramble is into is like, there's so many topics, or like the depths of topics that like are like taboo topics to talk about. And I don't mean like sex taboo. I mean like when you're talking to someone and they talk about like, I don't know, I'm going to say this as an example, like their relationship. It's like, they might say like, oh, they drive me crazy for this, that, and that, the other reason. You'd be like, are you guys happy? And like, you would never ask that person, are you guys happy?
Totally.
Right? And then it's like, you would have to be so close to somebody before you just went, are you happy? And not like in a negative way, but like genuinely, and then have them be, and I don't mean ask that question just because they're complaining about their spouse. I mean, at any point in time, in any conversation, to be like, are you guys happy? And then like, you're going to obviously get like yeah, we are. And then to go deeper and be like, well, why do you say that? Why do you believe you're happy? What do you guys do to maintain your happiness? Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't ask those questions to the general people you talk to. Like, totally. That's not something that you would just ask somebody unless maybe you were having a really in-depth conversation and like, and they led you to believe that perhaps they weren't happy.
Yeah.
So like that was one. So that piece of it. So there's that one. And then there's like the topic of like body image, where you could go was like, growing up for us, it was like, you can't wear that unless you look like this. Right. And now there's a whole generation of people, and they wear whatever the fuck they want. And it is awesome. It is awesome to see, but it makes me have to check my mentality. But it also makes me want, like, I would love to go up to somebody, and I say this whole thing with love, so please don't take me wrong here. But if I see someone who has a bigger body than what society would consider, like, because our growing up society, not society now is getting better, but what our growing up society would have considered too heavy. That's a broad spectrum. I would be too heavy in our society's definition of ideal bodies. Like growing up. But I see someone who's wearing like a crop top or like short shorts, and they are rocking it. They look fantastic. I would love to go up and just be like, okay, I have to ask this. Do you feel good in that?
Yeah.
Do you feel confident, or are you wearing it because that's what your generation wears?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I would love to ask them that question,
Like,
but like,
I actually want to know the answer to this, because if you're rocking this with your full confidence, I'm like, yes, sister, do it.
okay. So, and then I would be like, so how do you have that confidence? Like, how did you grow up with that? Like, did you ever struggle with confidence, or is this just a thing? And I think that about people who are super fit and wear those clothes too. Like, I think, do you feel good in that outfit, or do you wear it because you have this body and you think you should? Like, I think those same things both ways. It's just like, it's just a question I can't go ask anybody. And also, not only that, not only can you not ask them because it would be offensive and rude, but also I wouldn't even know if I was getting a real answer.
Oh, totally. Like, hey, how are you? Who actually gives you an honest, full-on answer to that question?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I can count on my hand one time have I been like, hey, how are you? And somebody gave me the absolute truth and I nearly fell over. And I really, and I was like, and I have actually quoted her multiple times now. I've actually quoted her multiple times. And she was, I don't know. Again, hopefully I'm not going to offend anybody by telling the story, but she would actually be like, I think she would probably say, go for it. So I had this friend, and I wasn't one of her like really close friends. I was like in the outer circles of friends, but enough that I saw her, knew her, and would talk to her places. And so like when my really good friend had her kids, I would sometimes take care of them, and I would go to this mom group, and I kind of became like the auntie of the mom group. One of those moms got breast cancer. And one time I saw her out and I said, hey, how are you? And she looked at me and she said, I'm really so sick of people asking me the question, how the fuck do you think I am? She's like, all due respect, how the fuck do you think I am? And I was like, fair. Absolutely fair, because it was hard. It was awful. And then after she passed away, I remember once seeing her mom, and I saw her and I said, I'm not going to ask you how you are. She's, oh no, I would say it. I'd say it. I'd say, how the fuck do you think I am? And now I'm like, I always catch myself, because people do, it's like a thing that comes out of our mouth. Hi, how are you? I'm good. But like, are you actually asking how somebody is? Or are you just saying that as like, we say it as like a greeting. It's like a hello. And then we say we're good, even though we might not be good. Or we might be great. I don't know. But like, do we ever answer it honestly? Do we ever ask it honestly? I don't know. Anyways, I went on a tangent there.
Yeah. I know. I wholeheartedly agree with you. I remember the first time, because growing up would always do the same thing. You say, hi, how are you today? And you're anticipating I still do it, but I am more prepared for a real answer now, ever since this one time. It's like, I remember one time, mine wasn't quite that intense, but it was like a girl I hadn't seen in a really long time. And I didn't know her very well. I just came across her sometimes, and I saw her and I was like, hey, like, I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been? And she just went into this long story. It wasn't like tragic. It wasn't bad. There was nothing. I mean, there was things that happened. I don't even remember what she said, but it wasn't like this tragic thing, like I have cancer and all that. It was just like, oh, this, that. And she gave me this whole spiel. And I was like, I remember thinking like, holy shit, man, I just asked you how you were. Like, I wasn't looking for the whole story. I was just looking like, pretty good. Life's okay. I'm good. Like, that's all I was looking for. And I realized after that, I was like, well, I mean, it's my fault. I asked the question. She just actually gave an answer. And so like now I do ask that question, but I'm fully prepared for whatever somebody wants to. I mean, I can't say I'm prepared for everything someone throws at me, but I genuinely embrace whatever somebody throws at me as best as possible, because like, I do care. I do want to ask. And instead of just asking, but yeah, like, most people aren't asking for that. There's actually a guy that walks around my neighborhood, and he will say, hey, how are you? And if you do not answer, I'm great. If you say anything other than I'm great or I'm awesome or something really, really positive, something beyond good, he will tell you being great is a choice. Having a good day is a choice. And that's all he responds with every single time.
Okay.
And I'm like, you're right.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. But like, you're not asking to actually ask me how I'm doing. You're asking so that you can tell me that being great is a choice.
You're going to lecture me.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So anyways, that's another one. Another one, so there's body image, there's relationships. Another one, this is a funny one, I think, is if you ever talk to somebody who's, I don't know how to put this. How do I put this?
It's funny that we're having this conversation because we are two people that are like so careful and like don't ever want to hurt anybody's feelings, and we're so like so it's kind of funny for us to be talking about this.
Yeah. Okay, so because these are all questions I'd love to ask people. Okay, I'm gonna skip the one I was about to say, but another one is I would love to ask just general, not everybody, I don't want to hear everybody's story, but sometimes you see people and I want to just be like, what's your sex life like? Like, not isn't like
I almost fell off my chair. Whoa.
Like, not just how often and is it good, but like,
Yeah.
what are you into? Are you swingers? Do you like fuzzies? Is there S&M going on there? Like, who ties who?
Like.
I want to know. I just want to hear what's up. What are you into? What do you like? I don't want a video. I don't want intense descriptions, but like, yeah, I really like this. I really like that. Like, I'm just curious. I don't need to be involved. I'm just a super curious George, and I love to ask. These are the things that go through my brain. Sometimes I see a random couple on the street, and I'm like, I would love to know, ask them that question.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Like, how does that work for you? But like, I can't. I can't.
Maybe like, you know what's gonna happen when you're an old lady? You're gonna be known as like the old lady that asks all of the inappropriate questions.
I hope so.
People see you and be like, "Oh shit, she's gonna ask me something weird today." That's Sammi lady. She's gonna ask me something weird.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's gonna expect an honest answer. I can't wait.
We have someone in our family, I'm not going to say where, but someone in our family, and she's known for being the interrogator right now, and she's 30 years my senior, and I'm like, I'm going to be that person. For
You
sure.
totally are.
I'm the same.
Yep, you totally are.
Because I do ask a lot of questions, but I'm just less direct than this person is. But I love this person with all my heart. One of my favorite people. But
I love it.
So the other one I was going to say that I was kind of not sure how to word was like, I did network marketing for a period of time. And in it, so if you are not in network marketing and you ask somebody in network marketing how their business is going, you are probably not getting a real answer, because they're probably going to give you the highlights and how wonderful it is, because it can't possibly be bad, because otherwise why would they stay? It has to be good. So they're going to tell you how freaking awesome it is. And that's fine. I understand that mentality. On the other side of it, if you're in network marketing and then you leave network marketing, if people still in network marketing were to ask you how life is going, and if it's positive, if you're talking about how positive life is, they will not believe you. They will think that you have just convinced yourself that life is good, because you need to convince yourself that life is good because you left this network marketing business that was way better. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like, you can't actually...
I don't totally know what you mean.
No, you don't know what I mean.
Oh shit, I just moved my desk instead of my chair. My face just did all the face things. Like, my face was not on mute.
I feel like it'd be the same thing if you're in like any kind of cult or any kind of like church thing. And I'm not saying all network marketing is culty, but like anything where they're really intense about it, like this is the end all be all, right? Like if we talked to, probably when we talked to Lindsay, thank you. Lindsay and Mark again, and talking about that. And if they were to tell their old church that they're actually really happy and they found all this great peace in life now that they've left the Mormon church, they'd be like, you're making that up, because they can't possibly be happy without God in your life. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's the same kind of thing. And I don't think all people fall into that, but I do think, like, I know people who are still in network marketing, and I think if I told them how much happiness I have now and was actually honest about the things I didn't like about business before, like, I think that they would think I was lying, and they'd be like, well, you said good things before. I'm like, I had to say good things before, because otherwise you'd be like just telling me how bad an attitude I had before. So I had to say good things, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those things, you can't actually have a real honest conversation, because they can't possibly let you know that it's not working. They can't possibly let you know that, because otherwise there's no way that you might come back. And they can't possibly believe that life is better outside of network marketing because they've believed so strongly that life is better in network marketing. Right? So that's one of those conversations that I'm like, I would love to.
That's a whole jar right
It's a
there.
whole jar. It's a whole jar, but it's wild.
Yowza.
I think about it.
That is
right?
wild.
Yeah. And then, I mean,
that is wild.
yeah. So those are my things. So we got relationships. Are you actually happy? Sex. What's your sex life? Network marketing. What was the other one I said?
Body image.
Body image.
You confident, like actually confident, or wearing it because you think you have to.
Yeah.
Or wearing it because it's in style, or yeah.
Or even when you 100%. See people like, you see people who are just really good at something and you just assume that they're really confident in it because they do it, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. So like, have you ever met somebody who you have like looked up to, or you have watched them and you think they're so good at what they do, and then found out that they have doubts, or they have, what is that called?
Imposter syndrome.
Yes. Like, have you ever met anybody and you're like, what, you have it? Are you kidding me? Like,
I'm sure I have, but I can't. Actually, yes, I can't. Like my only one that comes to mind right now was like Jessica Jansen last year for the Love for Lewiston event. And she, she posts how amped up she is about it and like all the work. And then she said to us, like, thank you for all that you were doing leading up to this event, because honestly, I was thinking about throwing in the towel. And it's like, never would have guessed.
Never. Never in a gazillion years. Yeah, no, never. For sure. No, it's wild. And I mean, like, I've experienced it for sure. Like I think in every stage of my life, I have always thought, I'm too young to be good at that. I'm too young to be good at that. I'm too young and inexperienced to be good at that. And then I was doing something the other day and I was like, wow, like I am the age of the people that I used to look up to now, when I thought I was too young to be in their sphere. And now I'm the age that they were, and I still feel like, I still feel like that. I'm like, well, girl, that's a mindset. That's not real. There's this little girl that came into the store today, and she was 6 years old. And Sammi, she walked in. I'm like, girl, if we could just like put in a bubble, whatever this is, this is what this confidence is like, what we all strive for. She walked in and she'd bought herself a new cowboy hat and she'd got herself a new bracelet. She walked right into the store and she's like, hi, how are you today? Like she was just like, this girl was like, walked right in. Mom was just kind of like, hey. She was just like, hey, so we're here because of me, because, I saw it and I said, we got to go in there, and it's a mindset.
We're here because of me.
Yeah. She's like, it's a mindset. I wanted to come in here and I told my mom we need to go in there and it's a mindset.
That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I really like you. Like, you're a really cool kid.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And she just walked around the whole store. Mom, I like that. Mom, I like that. Mom, this is really pretty. I like that. Where's that from? What's that? Like, it was so cute. It was so darn cute. I just was like, she's so cute. Anyway.
But yeah, that's the thing, is you see kids and how confident they are and the things that they want and they do, and you're like, we need to bottle this up and give it back to adults. Because who said that? Yeah. Sorry, I'm relighting myself here because
you're fine.
My sun was my light and the sun's gone down. So I had to, I was like, I didn't think that one through. I was like, yeah, that's good light. Oh, the sun's going down. Ha, my bad. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but you look at kids and their confidence and the things that they do, and it's like, where do we lose that? And there was someone who said something about like, I don't remember what this conversation came from, but it was something about how like we strip confidence from kids, like because we make them question themselves and make them think that, their opinion is wrong and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, we do strip them of their confidence. And it's like some of it I think naturally comes when you become just more self-aware, like just because like totally there's a period of time, especially like I think it's like 4 and under, where you're just oblivious to what everyone else is doing. You don't care, you're doing you, and you don't. And then eventually you start noticing like, nobody else is wearing cowboy boots, just me. Do I still want to wear cowboy boots or not? Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like, and it's not that nobody's saying anything to you. It's just like you're noticing, oh, I want to do more of what everybody else is doing, or I still want to do what I'm doing here. And I think how that flows with you is different depending on the person and the personality of the child. But yeah.
For sure. Chantel's daughter is I'm sure she would be okay with me talking about this, but she is the most incredible little human. Like, that girl has confidence and she wears whatever she frickin' wants. Like, she comes up with something and you are not talking it out of her. Like, it's picture day at school and she wants to wear a fascinator, a full-on fascinator with like the feather and the whole thing. You are not talking her out of it. She's doing it. Like, step aside because she's going for it. She's just absolutely amazing. And like, we're always like she'll message us pictures or stories about the things that she's picked out to wear. And we're just like, we just love it on the sidelines because we're like, yes, get it, girl. Wear the fascinator, do the things. Like, yeah, she's just like expressing herself and she rocks it. And it's just so cool. It's so cool. I love it so much.
Yeah. And I really hope that goes on. I mean, there are people who go up their whole lives and they wear whatever they want for their whole lives. And
totally.
I mean, like, we all do, but some of us do it differently. Some of us wear whatever we want. These just felt weird in my ears all of a sudden. Oh. Some of us do whatever we want, but some of us are still slightly influenced by the outside world, and some of us are fully influenced by the outside world. And then our own personalities in that.
Yeah, totally.
The other thing, so I have two other areas that this applies into. Yeah. Okay. We can dive back into these if we want, but the other one of them is like fitness and food, and like this is another one. Like, there was someone I heard. She was a personal trainer, and she said something like, people would come in and they talk to her about personal training and whatever. And she'd say like, well, let's talk about your food and nutrition. And they'd be like, oh, I know how to eat healthy. And she'd be like, well, then you're not doing it. And it's like, it's aggressive, but I remember, whoa. I know.
Oh my God. Keep going.
And it's like, she would say that. I don't know if she actually said that to them or not, but like, when I heard her say that, I just peed myself laughing because I was like, it's true. The amount of people as a personal trainer that I would sit down with and they'd be like, I want to lose weight. I want to get fitter. I want my clothes to fit better, whatever. And I'm not saying those have to be goals. I'm not saying you have to do that. But as a personal trainer, many people come into you talking about that. Mm-hmm. And you'll say, well, what's your nutrition like? And they would say, well, I know how to eat healthy. They didn't want to talk to you about it. And all you're thinking is like, clearly not. And I don't mean to be rude, but like, if you did, this wouldn't be your problem, because weight loss comes from the
have this goal.
You wouldn't have, thank you, not this problem. You wouldn't have this goal. You're absolutely right. It's not a problem unless you want, and that's, you decide it is, but that wouldn't be your goal, because weight loss, everything I say to kids, strength comes from to kids, to people, not to kids. Don't say that to kids. Strength comes from the gym. Weight loss comes from the kitchen. If that's your goal, weight loss is the kitchen, not the gym.
Ooh, that's a line.
It's true.
You know, when I first started hearing that, I remember feeling so, I don't know what it is, but I remember feeling so defensive. Like, that can't be true. Nope, that can't be true. That can't be true. Like, no. Like, because we're so attached to our food habits. I think it's like, it's such a comfort and it's such a part of who we are that I was like very defensive about that. When I first heard it, I didn't say anything outwardly, but inwardly I was like, nope, not gonna tell me. And then I've talked about this loads before, I'm sure, but when I started working with Kate, who was at the time my life coach, and we started talking about nutrition and stuff. And at the time I was kind of in a point in my life that I was experiencing a lot of there was a lot going on. And I had a lot of anxiety happening, and I knew I needed to do something. I just didn't quite know what it was. And I started working with her. And when I did, I decided I need to go all in on this. I need to trust her, and I need to go all in on, if it's something that can help my health, I'm going to try it. Even if it feels like I'm kind of pushing against it. And that was one of the things. And what she said to me was like, You don't have to tell. And this, it was for me, it was like, sorry, I took us on a tangent.
Oh, go.
For me, it was the way that she spoke to me about it. That was, and I think the stage of my life that I was at, that combination clicked, something clicked for me. Because she wasn't asking me to tell her. She was like, I want you to write down, take this week. You don't have to tell me what it is, but take this week. We're not going to change anything. We're not going to do anything about it. We're just observing. You're observing yourself. So you're going to take this week and you're going to write down everything you eat. And that's it. You're not going to tell me about it. You're just going to do it. And there were a couple of times I was like, ugh, I don't like writing this down, but I just ate it. Like, guess I'm going to write that down. And like, there was something about that process for me. It was like, she wasn't telling me the things to eat or not to eat. It was on a piece of paper. It was in front of me, you know? And then we did learning about things like sugars and stuff like that. It was very like, we went at it on a very like curious standpoint. And then we started playing around with like, okay, so now the next step was we're going to write down what you eat. And then we're going to write down how you feel immediately and how you feel 10 minutes later. And then we started playing with like, okay, for breakfast, you're going to have a protein and you're just going to eat protein. And then 10 minutes, like at the time, and 10 minutes, your energy level and stuff like that. And we started writing things down. And just in that process, that was the thing that cracked things open for me. And it was like somebody coming at me and saying, you need to change your food habits and you're going to tell me everything that you're eating. And I'm just like immediately defensive. Like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to eat the sugar, but I'm not going to tell you about it. This is like, it was just for me. Right. Anyways, I just rambled on for too long and took us in a direction. But all of that to say, like, I remember the first time I really, like, it's funny to say digested that. But the first time I really felt that and really recognized that, like, oh, because at the time I did not have an exercise routine at all. I was literally just changing the way that I was eating, and I could not believe the difference in how I felt just in making some very simple changes. Like, anyways, all that to say, you were right.
No, I think it's good you shared that, but it's just, but it's one of those things, right? Like, oh, Jesus, these are hurting my ears too. It's really good.
Good ones.
I'm getting good ones tomorrow. I'm going to the store tomorrow. Since my other ones broke. I mean, I can't promise they're good ones. I'll do my best. But, it's just one of those fitness and food. It's just one of those conversations that's hard to have with people because nobody wants to be actually honest about it. Mm-hmm. Very few of us are. And even when I started as a personal trainer, I thought I had to be this perception of perfect in terms of my fitness and my nutrition, and I by far was not. And it took me a while to learn that actually telling my clients, like, no, I still eat junk food. I have specific time frames of when I eat it and more amounts of when I eat it was actually more beneficial because I know I'm a real human, because this idea of never eating these things that we love is so far off for most people. And recognizing that, no, you just have to pick that. Anyways, it's another one of those conversations that's really hard to have with someone. And like as a personal trainer to a client, it's a little bit easier, but the further
hiring you to do it.
Yeah, totally. But the further removed you are from somebody to have that conversation, the less less real someone's going to be with you, because they don't want to let you in on the pieces where they're not successful, right? I'm really active, I do all these things, X, Y, Z the other thing is like, but what they're not telling you is that after every time they run a marathon, they're eating a bag of chips or whatever it is, right? And it's like, not that you have to eat healthy food after running a marathon, but like and also like, what is your purpose of running that marathon and all of these things, right? Like there's so much to it, but you don't really get to that unless you ask these deep questions. And those deep questions are usually, even if you would mean them as curiosity, can come across as questioning instead of asking questions, unless you know the person really well. So it's another just conversation that's hard to have.
Even if you do, like, you know, there's some topics, you're right. There's some topics that are just like, you're curious, but you're it's so hard to skirt the line between your curiosity and somebody else's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because one subject that might just be a full curiosity for me might deeply hurt your feelings if I start to ask questions and not you specifically. You're and we're all such different kind of people. Like, I mean, my grandma, oh my goodness, they did not talk about things. Like, they were so like proper and quiet about certain subjects. There were a lot more taboo subjects on that side of the family than on the other one, let me tell you. Like, I mean, she just would not speak offside or even remotely about anything. Like, she was very, I don't know, English proper, I guess, is where I would say that she was. Where was I going with that?
Not talking about things, your level and other people's levels.
Right. So, like, to insult her with a subject. I mean, later on in her life, her and I used to spend hours on the phone talking, and I really like got to a space where I knew her well enough to ask her things that I never thought I could talk about before, which was a really beautiful space to be in. And I'm just like so grateful for that time anyways. But before that, there were certain subjects I would never broach with her. Like, and still after that, like, there were just certain things that you just do not talk about. And you know, where like you're the kind of person that's like, I want you to ask me the questions, like, ask me the questions, talk to me about the things. So like you want somebody to be that curious toward you, right? Like I remember,
because it opens the door for me to be that curious about them.
You're like, yeah, turnabout, fair play. That's what my mom says. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Like, I remember when everything was going down with Theo, and I remember feeling like, I don't know, like I didn't know that about you yet. This is the thing that taught me that about you. And you said to me, please ask me the questions. I want to talk about it. I just don't want to just be like, bleh. But if you have questions, there's like a little like a little bug flying around here. Go away. But I remember you saying to me, like, please ask me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Please ask me all the questions. And I remember being like, oh, wow. Okay. Really? Okay. Like, because for a lot of people, like, everything would be taboo, right? So, I mean, we're all so different that.
Yeah.
But.
And I'll no topics are off the table for me in terms of questions. Some of them I wouldn't record on a podcast, but I would absolutely answer the questions in real time. Okay, I had another one I have two more that came to mind. And the funny part is I just wrote all the topics down that we talked about, but the funny part is all of these topics are not taboo topics in general. Mm-hmm. Like, you can have these conversations to a certain level with anybody.
You want to go deeper.
I want the deeper part is the next piece, right?
You don't want that surface level shit. You want to go in there.
Yeah, like the next two I had. So the next two are good ones, I think. One of them is finances. And not like, not just how much money do you make? Like, that's a great question I wish I could ask people, which is also a question you can't ask people. But totally. I would love to just ask people, like, when I see someone's life, like, when I walk into someone's house, I want to be like, can I ask how much money you guys make? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And not because I'm trying to be judgy but I'm trying to understand, like, this where it's coming from is like, I want to understand, do we make similar amounts of money and we spend it differently? Mm-hmm. Or do we make very different amounts of money? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And that's like, and not in like a comparison way, just in like a full on curiosity way. Like, I'm just so curious. Yeah. And like, you know, so that kind of thing. And then like, also like you see people buying random things and like whatever they may be. And sometimes it's like, we make the same amount of money, we just prioritize it differently. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's like we make vastly different amounts of money and one of us is better, like whether it's more or less, it's one of us is better at budgeting and one of us is not, or one of us is just doesn't, I don't know. But there's so many times that I'm like, when I see people do different things for different occasions, that I would just be like, can you show me your money? Like, show me the money. Show me the money. Like, how much money do you make? How does this all divvy up? What do you put into savings? How do you put into savings? What does this look like? Do you worry about these things? Do you worry about these things? Do you spend this on this? How much do you spend over here? And like also as a ways of being like, ooh, maybe that's something that I could do better, or maybe that's something that I'm already good at and you could do better. Like, I don't know, right? It's full on curiosity for me, but that's not really something like you could just ask people. Like, I think, and especially when you think about the numbers of like the top 10% of Canadians, if you think about, so 40 million people in Canada, the top 10% of Canadians makes over, I think it's around $110,000 a year. I can't remember. It's some give or take a couple thousand, but around $110,000 a year. So the top
is what percent?
The top 10%.
Okay.
So
keep going.
Only 10% of Canadians make over $110,000 a year. Now, and like obviously that's per person, not per. It might be per, maybe it's not per household. It might be per, I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Either way. Now think about how many gigantic houses we have in Canada. This is why I wonder this. How are these people affording these homes? Like, at the prices
I'm way perplexed. Like, I want to know the stats, the stats. I want to know all these numbers. Like,
this is why.
This is bananas.
I know.
What? Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah.
To have like the numbers?
So top 10% is $111,000. And top 5% is $153,000. This is individual. Above, an individual needs to earn above the threshold. So per person. So top 10% each is 110%. Top 1% is over 300,000. So, but you think about that, and like these homes cost, like the house I'm in is nothing fancy, and it would sell for $600,000. So only the top 10% of Canadians could potentially actually afford that on a dual income.
I'm blown away.
Yeah. So now the top 10% is still at $200,000 total. So those $200,000 have to afford these. But that's the thing, is the houses you're living in. You're in High River. It's even cheaper there than it is in Calgary. But your house is a large sized home, but not above average large. Like in Cranston here, most houses are approximately that size. And that's why I'm like, when I see people and they're both working, I want to be like, how much money do you make? Because I'm like,
how are you doing this?
How are you doing this? How much debt? And it's not in judgment. It's just in pure curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
It's pure curiosity. And I mean, potentially, I can't promise that there wouldn't be judgment after, but like,
I'm not gonna promise.
I can't promise that. And not because I'm like judging your choices, but because I'd be like, not judgment in like, I can't believe you do this, but in like, do you know if you lived smaller, you could have so much more savings? Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Anyways, so finances, that's one way I'm curious about it.
I want to tell you a story. I need to tell you a story because I need to see your face, but I don't have permission to share this publicly.
That's insane.
Okay, so if we're going to clip that part out, I just told Sammi about somebody spending a very large amount of money on something that may or may not be considered
stupid.
I was looking for a word like valuable and
stupid.
But like,
that's full on stupid. But here's the thing. It's stupid to me. It's stupid to me because I don't have $50,000 to just throw at something that's stupid. But and it's stupid. I'm sorry, that is stupid. But but sometimes you are so freaking wealthy that you literally just have money to spend on stupid shit. And that's okay. And that's a privilege. Now, as long as that stupid shit is not hurting the environment, like flying 90 jets to Venice for your stupid fucking wedding. I don't know. But in general, like sometimes there is stupid things that hurt the environment, and that's really irresponsible. But if it's stupid and it only affects you, I mean, sometimes you just have the money to do that, and that's okay. That is your privilege. It is a privilege, and you better recognize that it's a fucking privilege. But that is your privilege. And it doesn't mean, and I also say this, just because I say you have privilege doesn't mean that you or someone you know didn't work their fucking asses off for that privilege.
100%.
You can have privilege and work hard for it. but you
100%.
still have it.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. For sure.
So that's hilarious. Okay. That's
I wanted to see your face because I was just like, oh, I can't not tell you the story with this current situation or current conversation.
I remember, I'm going to tell you another one about somebody did something. This person doesn't know me, so I can do whatever I want. But I remember walking around the dog park, and this person was talking about their dog. This was before I had kids. I had a dog, obviously. I was walking the dog park. And they were telling me about, I don't remember the whole story, but ultimately their dog got hit by a car. And they loved this dog so much. And they took it to the vet. And the vet was like, yo, it's going to cost like whatever. I don't remember what money it was. And he was like, okay, I have $40,000 in the bank. So you can spend up until $40,000 to save my dog. And he spent it on saving his dog. And I'm like, you're bonkers.
We're bonkers.
You're bonkers. People who like, no, when your dog is your baby, you don't understand, because people with kids just don't understand how much my dog is my baby. I'm like, no, I had a dog. My dog was my only child at the time. And I would not have done that. I would not have spent more than $1,000 to take care of my dog. Like, full stop.
Do you know,
hard
do you
no.
know what
It's a
concerns
dog.
me? I mean, I don't want to sound insensitive here, but a dog's life expectancy is what?
A big dog, 10, 12 years. A small dog, 15, 18 years.
Right? Like, what? Okay, what concerns me the most about that is that he drained his bank account doing it. Oh, yeah. Like, I have this much money and you can have it all.
For a dog that is probably going to die in 2 years.
Oh my God.
That's the thing is, like, I had a dog and he died and he had stuff and I didn't spend the money to try to save him because he's a dog. The other thing, okay, the other topic, I'll move on from finances. The other one, and we can circle back to any of these that we want to dive deeper in, because I got all the questions on all these things.
Right.
Not for you specifically, but for the general public.
I'll answer what I can. You could ask me I think you probably know the answer to all of those questions for me. Do you? Go look at your list.
Not your sex. Well, maybe.
Yeah, you do.
Well, no, that's not true. I know little bits about your sex life. I've never asked what you like in sex.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
So, I'm coming over on Wednesday. We can have that conversation if you want to. I'm game.
Lord.
I'm game.
Oh my God. Okay, keep going.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, finances. The relationships. I know you've not been in MLM, so like I know that one. Body image. Yeah, basically just deep down into the sex one. Yeah, you're right. Okay, and actually this next one too, probably. Deep down into the sex one. Deep down.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start blushing. Okay, keep going.
You know what?
Go
Sex is like one of my favorite topics to talk about.
Is it really?
Oh God, it's so funny.
Like
it's so
sex
funny.
with Sue, except you're sex with Sammi.
I would have killed to be sex with Sue. Like that would have been fantastic.
Is she still alive?
Probably not. She was like
She
ancient
spoke at the college. She spoke at the college once.
She was ancient when I was a kid.
Let's find out.
At least she looked ancient. I don't mean that. I mean that with love. Sex with Sue. But.
Oh my God.
What?
Her name is. Oh, okay. I thought her last name was Johnson. It's Johansson.
Johansson. Sue Johansson.
Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
No, it's okay. Sue Johansson. The other one is parenting. Is one that you can't really get a full answer on. You can try, but I think about people I know who've been parents, and if you met, or are parents, if you met them out and about, you'd be like, oh my God, they're such a loving, nice parent. And then you can like see them in the background and it's like, oh, you're fucking crazy. You know what I mean? And it's like, so like you can meet, this is the struggle, because you can meet people and they can seem very lovely and kind, but they are real good at putting up on a face, and you don't actually know. Like they may be like, oh yeah, like I don't believe in disciplining it. I don't believe in timeouts, and we need to respect our children and no screen time, blah, blah, blah. And like secretly behind doors, they're yelling and screaming and throwing shit at their kids. And don't get me wrong, we're all human. We all have moments of like shit that happens. But like the difference between that and person who means what they say and has moments is the person who means what they say will often admit that they've made those moments. And when those moments happen,
they make amends.
They make amends. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. They fix it. They stop and they go, that was not okay. I'm really sorry. The people who are just hiding and can put on a face would never admit that that's how they behave behind closed doors and don't make amends. They are full on in their rights for that. But it's like, and even like I have had this conversation lately a lot with parents. If they hear this, they're going to be like, keep talking about me. I mean, there's like 8 of you. So like, it's been a lot of parents over the last little while, so I can't single any one of you. I'm not singling anybody out. It's been a general conversation I've had with all these parents. But like topics of like, you know, screen time, for example, and like how much screen time you allow your kids. And every single one of them will say like, yeah, we don't have a lot of screen time. We limit it. We blah, blah, blah. We this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, okay, you're all saying this. And I don't mean to be like you're lying. But what I am saying is like, we're all saying this, but the statistics of the kids who are watching way more screen time than what we're all saying is not that. So either we're all...
One of you is lying.
Yeah. We're either all the exception to 8? The statistics.
It's like 3 and 8 are watching this, but 3 of you are lying. I'm just kidding.
Right?
I'm just kidding, 8. I'm just kidding.
8.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's fine if you're offended. It's on you. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying like, how many of you are actually being honest about what, and screen time is just an example. We can talk about junk food. We could talk about outside time. We could talk about yelling. We could talk about
100%.
Punishment, spanking, whatever. I'm just using screen time as an example. How many of us are actually being honest with people about how much screen time we provide our kids or junk food or whatever, and how much of us are just saying what we want the other person to hear and how we want to be, but aren't.
Yes. I was just going to say there's a bus stop in between those two things. And the bus stop in between those two things is being honest with yourself about it. Because that goes back to like what I was saying about writing the food thing down. Takeout. How much takeout do I eat in a week? If you would have asked me that before that exercise, I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know, this much. And I'd give you an answer. Now that answer was not accurate. When I wrote it down, I was forced to look at it and be like, oh shit, I just had way more takeout than I realized. Because you just like get into these, and same with screen time. It is so easy to be like, kids, just go turn on a cartoon for a minute. I'm going to go make supper. You write down, if you take a paper and every day write down, my kid had this much screen time. Now screen time is not just a tablet, just a phone, just a TV, just a computer. It's all of those things together. So it's really easy to be like, oh, my kids barely have any screen time because they watched half an hour of TV today. But how much time did they spend on the tablet? Oh, shit, I didn't think about that. Oh, yeah. And I told him he could have 10 minutes. And then I kept talking to my sister on the phone. And then he was on there for an hour. Like, it's one of these things that we have ourselves convinced that they have this much time. But unless you like have it on a timer or have it on an app that shuts everything down after a certain time, or you're really being honest with yourself by writing it down, it's not a judgment. I'm not slamming anybody. It happens so I'm saying that because it's happened to me.
Same. Yep.
It happens so easily, and I get to the end of the night and I'm like, shit, too much screens today. And I'm lucky enough to have one child that I can see it in his behavior. If he has too much screen time, I'm like, oh Lord, yep, I let that go. Because his behavior shows it like that. And he's always been like that. But I have another that is not like that. And I mean, Chantel and I have had this conversation. I keep bringing her up. I have to be like, Chantel, I talked about you a whole lot. We've had this conversation because her kids don't react like that to screen time. So she's like, I have to like, she's like, it's so easy for me to be like, oh shit, that was a lot more screen time than I realized, because they don't react badly to it in the moment. Yeah. Their mind like explodes. It's very obvious. Yeah. Right. But anyways, that was a big ramble. But
No, it's not. But you're absolutely right. We have to be honest with ourselves, because I've had those moments too. Like I had, when I was first getting into the gym, I remember same thing. A personal trainer that I had hired said like to write down all the food that I was eating. And at one point I showed it to her, but at one point I was doing it for myself. And I remember like, I would go at the end of the week and I'd be like, oh, like I didn't eat that much chocolate this week. And then I'd go back and I'd be like, chocolate Monday, chocolate Tuesday, chocolate Wednesday. Oh shit, I ate it every day. Like, my bad. You know, so I totally had that. You don't think about it because every day I wasn't going to the store and buying a chocolate bar. I wasn't packing all this pile of chocolate. I had a quarter in my purse that I went to the vending machine and put in and got a handful of peanut M&Ms. Like, and that was it, right? And so it's like I was doing that every day. And I mean, like, anyways, that's a long story. But so it was the same thing. I had to write it down to be like, oh, I'm not as honest as I thought I was. And same with even screen time just recently happened, not for my kids, but for me. At the eye doctor a couple months ago, we went and they said, how much screen time do you all get? And I knew the answer for my kids because they don't have tablets. They don't use my phone. They don't have anything outside of school. I said, I don't know what they're getting in school, but at home they get one movie a week. And then I wrote for myself and I was like, oh, how much screen time do I get? And I was like, well, like recording podcasts, editing podcasts. And I counted something else. I can't remember. And then after I was like, oh, so it's this much time. And then I was like, I didn't count any of the time I spent on my phone. Like it didn't occur to me. And then I was like, oh, like, I mean, I have my Instagram limited to 30 minutes a day, and that's the only social media I go on, generally speaking, but I will look on Facebook Marketplace. I'm also obviously replying to text messages and phone calls and the emails, and that's all on my screen. And I forgot to account all of that. And so it's like that was a moment where I was like, oh, shit, wasn't very honest with myself. Like, fuck that. So I'm saying this, and I'm guilty of it. I'm not like faulting people for it. It's just that we struggle to be honest. And my point isn't...
I don't know if it's struggle. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you because I don't know if it's we struggle to be honest or if we struggle to just recognize because we just go through our day and we're not recognizing like, oh, right. Like it's I don't know if it's honesty as much as a recognition or like an
awareness,
realization, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you're right. It's just awareness.
Because like we're not lying to ourselves about it. It's just that awareness. Exactly. We might just not be aware of it. Like you weren't lying to yourself. You just like, oh yeah, shit, that's on a screen too.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Keep going. Sorry.
No, you're right. It's just that awareness of like we're not as aware of our habits. And like none of us are perfect. I'm not sitting here saying like I'm aware of all my habits and y'all should be like me. Like no. I'm just saying like that's a conversation when you get into it with someone. If you're having a conversation about parenting, about the way that you whether it's handle the screen time or the way you respond when your kids are misbehaving or I don't know, any parenting topic is like we speak the way that we want to be and not the way that we are, and we are not aware of the gap in those two things, and creating that awareness in our gap is where we can make those shifts to actually doing what we want. It doesn't mean we're perfect at it, but
totally.
Anyways, it's just another one of those conversations that when you have that conversation, you can't fully get the actual picture because that awareness is lacking, right? It's the same.
Totally.
Same.
Totally. It's wild. Anyways. Did we hear them all? Did we hear your list?
Yeah, that was all the ones that came to mind.
I can't. So basically, Sammy's gonna be the interrogator queen when she's an old lady.
I mean, it's the thing is, I would love to be the interrogator queen now, but it's like socially unacceptable. But when you're old, it's like more acceptable to be crazy.
All acceptable.
It's all acceptable. It's all acceptable.
I love it.
So good luck to the spouses of my children.
That's way too good. Yes.
Somebody I know, the person who's this interrogator, I was told that they asked somebody, a new spouse for one of their kids, how much money they made, and I was like, not much money they made. What is your net worth? What's your net worth?
And
I was like,
you.
I like you. I like that question. That's a good one. I'm gonna save that for my kids when they have spouses coming in, because I'm like, yeah, thank God nobody asked me that. But I was like, yeah. I mean, the thing is, if somebody asked me that at the time, it probably would have been higher than my husband's at the time, but. It's not now because, I'm at home with kids. But those are just so much. And, like, I think the ones that come to mind the most for me, well, actually, you know what? I want to say the most. Mostly the body image one, finances, and probably, actually, it's a tie between, just all of them. Between body image, finances, sex and then like, are you happy in your relationships? Those are the ones that I think hit me the most, because I think they're the ones that just kind of are forefront the most often.
Yeah. And they just really want like, hey, I'm going to ask you a question, but I really want you to tell me the truth. Right?
But then they're on guard. Like, what are you going to ask me? What's happening?
Right? Totally.
I think the other reason this one of are you happy comes up for me is like, I feel like oftentimes, I mean, like, I don't mean to speak about because he's dead, but like Rachel and Dave Hollis, you know, like she wrote that book, Girl Wash Your Face. And it was all about, she talked a lot about their wonderful relationship in it. And then only for a few years later, they got divorced. And now I don't believe that she was lying. I believe that she believed that they were happy for a period of time and then something happened, and that's fine. But I think that's the craziest thing is like, whether it's social media or a book or people that you can watch from afar, or even people you know but you don't know, and you see their relationship, and it's like, you know, you look like you're happy. You act like you're happy,
are you
but
for real?
Are you actually happy? You know, like, have you actually assessed, like, are you in that roommate phase but you haven't realized you're in that roommate phase, or do you actually have a thriving relationship? You know, and like those are things, like when it comes to relationships, like I'd really love to, like I can think of so many couples in my head that I know of, and like they seem fairly happy. Like, I can't think of anything that stands out that makes them not happy, but I think about how busy their life is and the way that they organize things, and I think, like, well, when do you actually have time for each other? And, like, are you actually functioning as a couple that loves each other like you did before kids, or are you functioning as two parents running a household that sometimes meet in the bedroom? You know, maybe you never do. I don't know. And it's like,
that's wild. I've been curious about that one for a really long time, and not in like a judgmental way, and not in like, I feel really bad for that whole family, because I think they got completely slammed by, I mean, it was like tsunami after tsunami, and I feel really bad for them. But, and I don't know the ins and outs of what happened at all. Like, I don't know. Either. Maybe there was more public than I realized, and I don't know it. But I remember seeing it, and I remember seeing the announcement come up, like they announced it on their pages, and I remember looking at it and being like, what's the date today? Is it April 1st? What the fuck? I remember being like shaken by it. Like, I do not understand what is going on right now. And I felt bad for them, because they got so slammed by people being like, well, now I want a refund on my book, and I want a refund on all of these things that you were teaching. And like, it just must have been so hard for them. Anyways, but I've been curious about that one too. Like, when that book came out, were they happy? Because then afterwards she talked about them struggling for years. So like, were you saying that because you wanted it to be true, and that you're working on it, and the work that you were doing was making progress? And so, or, you know, I don't know.
Well, it's one of those
and nobody's
things, like,
ever going to know.
Yeah. Cause you also can't,
it's not our business, but
and I don't mean this. I'm not saying this is true. I'm just saying, but you couldn't write a book like that and talk about and include your marriage and talk about how it's not perfect, and you're not, and like, not that she talked about it like it was perfect. She was pretty real, I feel like.
Yeah.
But like, couldn't talk about it in a way that it's like it's going the wrong direction.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
for sure. Yeah.
You can be like, oh, it's not perfect, but we're super happy. But to say like, yeah, like we're actually really struggling right now as I write this book. Here's the things we're doing to get better. Like, just society, which is really unfortunate, wouldn't like that, and that's stupid.
Well, and I think that's, you know what? Okay, this is. I think there's two things I want to say about this. So number one, I think that you just hit the nail on the head with society didn't like that, because it's like, why don't we talk about this stuff? And I think it's twofold. Number one, we're scared of judgment, and number two, we judge each other. We've done it. We just did it in this conversation. Dog. You know,
stupid dog.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think that why we don't ask questions and why we don't answer is because we are afraid of being judged, and that we do judge each other. And that really sucks. Like, it would be, you know, interesting to know what this would look like if judgment just didn't exist. Like, how different life would be if judgment just did not exist.
Well, and I think I agree with you. And there's a human part of like, you know, like I think about this, I made the comment about the stupid dog thing, right? Like the stupid money on the dog. And it's like, I'm saying that. And
I felt it too.
Do I think it? For sure. However, I also, and I'm not just saying this, it's true. Like you first tell me it's full on judgment. And it's one of those things that's like what your first thought is how you were raised. Your second thought is who you want to be. And like, that's how I try to be. Like, definitely I have that first thought of judgment, and we're recording a live podcast. I'm letting it out there. But like internally, I'm like, I would genuinely want to sit down with this person and ask them like their thought process about why they're making, why they feel this is necessary, and like why they have to do what they're doing, and why I just about said it, and why they have to, you know what I mean? Like what
just curious,
what made you feel like that was the right choice? And like when you get down to asking those questions, when you actually take the opportunity to get to know the reasons people make decisions, the judgment goes away.
Yeah, that's true.
The problem is,
it's actually really beautiful.
We don't take the time to ask those questions partially because we don't have the opportunity to. Like, I haven't sat down with Rachel Hollis to be like, hey, like, what's up? Tell me your stories. And so I'm gonna say when I see Rachel Hollis one day, hey, what's up? Tell me your stories.
You sound like a creep.
It's fine. I'll be famous enough by then that she'll be okay with it.
Keep going.
But also, so to ask those questions, but also, even if we do have the opportunity, we're often afraid to. Or I remember one time somebody said something to me, this is just kind of pertaining back to the Theo stuff, how much I love to be asked questions about things because I don't like to just spurt it out. But like, that's on me. If I want to talk about it, I need to talk about it and not expect people to ask questions. Fair. But when someone asks a question, it makes it safer to talk about. Yeah. Anyways, someone said this to me. They're like, I want to ask you questions, but I actually just can't think of what to ask. Like, I don't know what to ask. Like, I was like, I want to hold space for you to talk about it, but I actually just don't know I don't know what to say. And I really appreciated that person saying it, and you know who you are. But because I was like, that didn't occur to me. Because questions are flying through my brain like at 50 miles an hour. Like, what? I can't stop it. I have to stop from asking them. And so when someone was like, I want to talk to you about it, I just don't know what to ask you. I don't know. I can't think of a single question. And I was
you're
like,
a very curious person.
Oh, so much so.
Is it a problem, Sammi?
It's maybe a problem for AJ. I don't know. The amount of times, seriously, in my house, I'm like, do you ever wonder? And I'm like, AJ's like, I could just say no now, or I can let you finish the question. Like, it's up to you. Like,
like the answer is no matter what.
It's always no. Unless it's, do you ever wonder if I'm going to have sex now? That goes through my brain all the time. That's what AJ said. That goes through my brain all the time.
All the time.
That's so funny. But anything else is pretty much off the table.
That's so funny.
But like, so like that, right? It's that space. We don't think of questions. Our brain just doesn't function that way. And not that that's in all areas of life, just in certain areas. Or we're afraid to ask them, or we don't have the opportunity to. But any of those things, answering questions, asking questions, getting answers to questions about the reasons people make decisions allows judgment to go away. You think about politics, right? And if someone's like, I voted for the opposite party that you did, you're going to be like, why would you vote for them? You obviously disagree with me, blah, 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 blah. But if you actually sit down and be like, can you tell me why you voted for this person? What were your reasons for voting for that person? 100%. Why did you disagree with this other party? Are there things you liked about the other party, but it just wasn't enough? What don't you like about the current party that you're with? Like, what would you change if you actually take the time to ask those questions to somebody? Your judgment for their choices would almost go away. I mean, in some cases, there's a few exceptions where they'd be like, I voted for this party because I think that white people need to rule all. Well, you'd be like, yeah, like, I'm going to judge you.
You're an asshole.
You're an asshole. You're just...
I'm going to judge you. You're an asshole.
I'm going to judge you. You're an asshole. There's a few exceptions, but I think, honestly, if it comes down to it, for the most part, you'd find out that most people aren't. And most people just think differently than you. And even if they have the same values, have a different process of how they go through making decisions. And that process leads them to a different place. And if you could have a conversation with them about your own processes, you might find that their process actually makes more sense than yours, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But so anyways,
sure.
all of that to say is judging is human nature. It is like, I mean, I don't think maybe it's not human nature. It's what was taught to me. It's a natural,
I think it is,
right?
I think it is human nature. I don't know. I do think it is human nature to a sense. Yeah. In a sense.
It's just, what are you going to do with the second? What are you going to do with the next part?
Mm-hmm.
What you do with the next part is what not defines you, but kind of is going to define your next step in judgment, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Process.
Okay, my second thing that I was going to say is, here's the other curious thing about all of this. Every single one of those things on your list. Now, this I find fascinating. In certain cultures, all of those are going to be taboo.
100%.
And in certain cultures, some of them are just very easy conversations. Like in certain cultures, they talk about sex like they have no shame and they're just going to talk about it. In some cultures, it's like, you don't even say the word. Like, you don't even, I don't know how to make those babies. I don't know how that happened. You know, like,
what is a penis? I don't understand.
Don't say the word. Right? Like, it's incredible. Like, I
don't make money.
Don't
talk to me about money. I don't make money.
I'm so curious by that. Like, so you know what? I want to ask people. I want to ask people that, like, in your culture, do you talk about these things openly? Like, in your culture, do you talk about any of these subjects openly?
Ooh, let's make an Instagram post. That's like, we'll list in this whenever we release this episode. In this episode, we talk about these topics. Tell us which of these topics is taboo for you and which isn't.
Yes. Yeah. And if you're open to sharing if there's a cultural significance. Because I do know, like, you know, like, I have a French side and my dad's side is English. My mom's side is French. And there are a lot more topics that are taboo on the English side than on the French side.
I've heard even that, like, for the English, even talking about money is like a huge
no,
no.
You do not. Oh, no, you do not. That's massive no. I shouldn't say in all English because I don't know that. I am less familiar with that, but I can say that on the driver's side, no, they did not talk about money. Like, my grandma, absolutely not do you talk about money with her.
Even so much as, like, you can't ask what someone does for work because that indicates what their potential income might be, and you shouldn't know that.
Oh, she would ask you what you do for work. She would ask you what you do for work. I don't think family, if anybody's listening, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think she would stray away from asking you what you did, but there certainly would be no talk about money. So, like, how much something is worth, how much you make, how much you spend on something, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And my dad was like that too. Like, he was very like, you don't talk about what somebody makes. You don't ask them how much they make. You don't ask them what they spend on something. You don't talk about what you spend on a gift. You don't talk about, like, you just do not talk about that stuff.
Most of that was similar for me.
Yeah. Which makes talking about finances hard. As an adult, you have to kind of break through those barriers a little bit and be like, oh, this is not a negative thing to talk about. Anyways,
totally.
I'm going on a
no.
But anyway.
Yeah, they're just, I guess, I wish I just, yeah. I don't know.
So in your heart, you're like I don't know. I think that
I think my name should have been George.
George?
I think my name should have been George.
Why?
Curious George.
Oh, I was like, George who? Of the Jungle? What are you talking about?
Also that one.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
that was fun.
So we had it doesn't matter what we had lists of things. Anyways, that is our hi, welcome back after summer. Melissa and I had things to talk about. We didn't really know what we were talking about. It's just, that's how banters go. This was just on my brain of all these taboo topics that none of us ever talk about in depth with people. Like, now it's like, now I like want to challenge myself to, like, the next time someone's talking and I have a question, I'm just gonna be like, can I just ask a question? I don't mean to push, but, like,
I'm really
out of
curious.
curiosity. Out of curiosity.
That's so funny.
What's your sex life like?
Like how many times and what? And
Like, okay, ever since I learned that people I know are swingers, whenever I meet people, I always just want to be like, are you guys swingers? Like, I want to ask couples that, but like, not because I'm interested. I'm just curious.
Curious. No,
Preface,
so
I don't want any closed relationship. Are you swingers? I know some people.
funny.
It's not me.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny. I love it.
Like,
I love it.
how could you ask people that, you know?
It's
Like,
hard, right? Because you have to like read. I was going to say read the room.
I thought of this too. Okay, this is just super random on this topic of sex. Sorry, we should end.
No.
We should end.
It's fine.
It's bedtime. It's so late. But there was this, I used to follow on Instagram this account called Zillow Gone Wild, and it would just have like crazy wild looking homes that were for sale.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and they were so cool to see. They were so cool, and lots of them were really cool. But I remember there's this one that popped up, and it's like a larger house, like probably a slightly larger than yours, like decent sized home, beautiful home. And you go through the photos, and it's just like, well, this is a very normal house. Like, I don't understand why this is on Zillow. Like, it's very normal. You go through the whole house, and then you get to the master bedroom. It's like a sex dungeon. Like the corner, like the whole back walls are all painted black. The bed is like on like a platform with like a mirror above it.
Oh
and
my
like
God.
there's like one of those X's that you would strap someone's arms and legs to on the wall with the straps on the wall.
On the listing?
On the listing.
Like on
Yes. And then you can see like where they're like, I don't know what they're called, like the whips and stuff are like hung, and it's not open, but there's a closet there, which I'd assume is full of more things. And it's like,
God.
it's a full-on sex dungeon in this house. And I'm like, I would love to be like, and the other two bedrooms were clearly children's bedrooms. So like, I gotta ask, are your kids allowed in your bedroom? And if do they know what that stuff is for? Or are they not allowed in mom and dad's bedroom? Like, have they never entered the bedroom? Is it like full lock, kids don't go in there? Or are they allowed in there and you just talk about it very openly? Or, and when you have people over and you're showing them a tour of your home, do you just like make sure to avoid the master bedroom?
Close mommy's door. Like, to be clear, when I say please close mommy's door, it's because I have mountains of laundry in there.
You don't have a sex dungeon? It's not a sex dungeon. Like, I don't.
It's not a sex dungeon.
I mean, the thing is, like, I just toured someone's home the other day, and like, they don't, like, when it's someone you know and they've bought a new home, like, they're going to show you their house, obviously. But like, when you just meet somebody, like, you know, like kids going over to new kid's house, the parents just showing you around their house. Like, I did just the other day, didn't show someone our upstairs because I was like, well, the kids aren't going to go up there, so you don't need to go up there. So it's like, it's easy to avoid not showing someone my bedroom.
Totally.
But like,
you
know, but like when I went to the other person's house and they showed me around, like, I could have walked down the hall to their bedroom. I didn't, but like, I could see where their bedroom was from there and looked pretty sex dungeonless. But like, I was like, it's wild. Like, how does this work? And I would just love to ask, how does this work? Do you use this all the time, or is this just for show? Were you into it once? You're not into it anymore? Like, what? What's up here?
It's just decor.
How many of these do you use? How do you use them? What does this look like? Who does what? How do you like it?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So many questions.
You're going to be the best interrogative old lady.
I hope so. We'll see.
Oh, I love it.
We'll see what happens. I'll just tattoo questions on my arms.
Tell me more.
Tell me more. That's all it's going to say. Tell me more. Thanks for tuning in. If you do.
If you've lasted this long.
If you've lasted this long.
Congratulations.
We're fucking impressed.
You
right?
have good stamina.
You have good stamina. I don't know.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. To help support the growth of this podcast, please feel free to leave us a review, follow us on socials, or recommend us to your friends. Your support honestly means the world to us. With love, Sammi and Melissa.